Hey everybody, welcome to your unpaid therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of your unpaid therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valery Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know.
I am your host, Alikona. She's away. Bradford. This is your unpaid therapist. Shua.
Me or you or me.
Let's go.
Welcome back. Your unpaid therapist. So before we even start the show, right? Should I do this now?
What's happening?
My surprise.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
You guys know who we are. It's not like we need to say hi. You've met this guy before. If you haven't, this is Anthony Cardona. Watch the previous episode. You'll know all about him.
Super cute. So my birthday passed recently. This is going to air way after my birthday. So do I do this now?
Yeah.
If you're into ASMR, this is probably like very satisfying right now, like opening a card. Oh, belated birthday wish. Do I read this out loud to you, Valerie?
Yeah.
Although this card may be too late for your birthday, it's never too late to wish you a year filled with happiness. Wishing you all the best. Thank you, Frank. And Frank is our all the things. Like, we can't even give him one title, y'all. He's like our florist, he does our lighting, he does our set design, set decoration. He's our I know, crafty. Why am I
clappy?
No, I know. Like, why am I forgetting this?
We're not in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, all the things. Dun, dun, dun. What is this? Shopping is cheaper than a therapist. Very fitting. Very fitting. Although right now there's a strike, so I can't shop. So I'm glad that I am here with both of you to talk about all the things. Thank you. That's so cute. I love it. Can y'all see it? Well,
No, that's okay.
it's okay.
All right.
Okay.
So y'all know how the show goes. We never have I ever it out, and then we get on our topic, which today, by the way, super interesting topic. I'm sure random stuff is gonna come up, but basically the plan is to talk about how trauma is related to kink. Oh, very interesting.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
But before we dive in,
Never have I ever.
yes, where okay, have it. Wait.
Oh my God, I have one. Oh, but I'll read it. Okay, and then we'll just have to figure out the rest. Never have I ever picked a wedgie in front of someone I found attractive.
Okay. So is this asking they saw you or you just kind of like just did it?
I don't know, Val. Which one did you do?
I feel like I've definitely done like with the swimsuit. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, like that.
It's different than full on like digging in your butt.
No, I didn't do all that. But
I'm sure I have. I can't think of off the top of my head. In my mind, I thought for sure you had to have, and that's why I wrote this.
Oh, okay. All right. Go.
I was like, what has Anthony probably done? Okay, we're going to write that down. I have not, although I did have a friend who, when she got a wedgie and she couldn't get it out because there were people around, she would just take one leg and like kick it out. So if you ever saw her walking and kicking, you knew
and
her.
that worked?
That's what I was gonna say.
What?
Yeah.
Is this like a dancer secret?
Well, I mean, for me, it was a male learned secret because we just have a lot of situation going on down there. So we
Sure.
have to learn how to adjust all the time without like, just digging. So yeah, the walking and then like you kind of lift and rotate your foot inwards. It kind of opens up the butt cheeks a little bit.
I
Just
see.
enough.
And if you're in motion, you kind of like do a little shimmy and then,
But why did you hip thrust just now?
I mean, I was trying to give an
Interesting.
example.
I feel like anybody who is able right now is gonna try that. I hope you are trying that because
And send us a picture on Instagram.
that is really funny. Yeah, no. So I guess mine is a no.
Okay.
Nothing as creative and fun as that. I can't beat that. I do beat that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm like, how are we gonna have
pick a
to
card now?
pick some cars off the ground? This is why you want to subscribe to our Patreon to see the video.
What's happening here? Like really prepared here. Really prepared here. Some of these might be like we've already it's so random. I'm just gonna like
just pick them.
I don't know. Just if it's a repeat, it's a here.
If it's a repeat. Yeah, if it's a repeat. then we'll just say we've discussed this already.
You know, or I trust your improv skills. If you got a good story you wanna share, that's okay.
Never have I ever pranked a teacher.
Pranked a teacher. Oh, we did do this one because I just remembered my story.
Pranked a teacher. Yeah.
I was like,
Okay, so I go.
pick another one.
Yeah.
Pick another one. I was like, I did.
Never have I ever have gotten or kicked someone off social media platform.
No,
Okay.
Nope, never been.
I'm not that misbehaved.
I have gotten someone kicked off social media, and this is a juicy story, but I don't even have enough time to even.
Is it your stalker?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is not my stalker, but it is someone. Actually, I'm not even going to go into the detail just to save.
You're so
I
kind.
don't
I know.
feel like you got to.
Right. I know. Well,
I'm like,
no.
what is
So
it?
it's somebody that I know's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And so this person was just I've never not liked, I love a lot of people and I really like a lot of people. I've never felt hate towards somebody. And this person, there was moments that I felt hate towards this person because of their behavior. And long story short, this person posted some like inappropriate things about this other person on social media. They posted a poster of me and like that, like it's too many details, but you know, saying stuff. They posted my mother.
What?
Okay, like a video of my mother. They did like this fancy little animation thing and like talking shit about my mom. And that's when I like, yes, exactly. I'm not supposed to clap.
She's like,
that is yeah. So at this point, I was like, okay, bitch. You know, like this, no. So the way that I knew to like get this person and hit them where they hurt is they made money off the social media platform where we were on, and they did this thing and exposed my mom. So I looked up the terms and conditions and I was like, okay, violated this, violated number 2A, like made a whole list and had the evidence, had video evidence, and got this person kicked off. And it was so satisfying because one, now you're not going to get paid using this platform. And two, it's like, it's a little silent killer where it's just like, I'm not going to do all this extra stuff. I'm not going to like go down to your level and like blast you, but I will stop you from repeating this like immature behavior. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It was so satisfying. I was like, don't you touch my mom. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it was over. Like, you could, like, I don't care, you know, put me on this video, whatever, lady. As soon as it's my mama.
What did mom do to her?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's so sweet and cute.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody knows my mom, so you know I was pissed. Like, anyway, that was fun. That was fun. All
And if you need more, girl, I got a whole pile.
okay, no,
Hold
I
on,
see
let's see.
hold on. Never have I ever. Okay, had baby poop slathered on my face. I am so happy to say I have not. I definitely had. Okay, funny story with baby poop. I was taking care of my friend's kids, and his son. He was bath time or whatever, and he like, you know, had the face, right? There's a little I'm about to poop face, and the, you know, the
vein coming out of the neck.
yeah, there's like
Yeah.
a little pause that they do. And I was like, do you have to go to the bathroom? And he was like, he shakes his head because like it was too late. Sure enough, we're in bath time, and a little long starts floating up, and it wasn't a solid. I'll just say that. And I was like, ah! So I like grab him out of the toilet or out of the tub and I put him on the toilet. But there was like that child seat lock thing. And so I had him in my hands. So like I had to put him down. So when I put him down and he, you know, he could stand, the dog comes in the bathroom. So now the dog, I mean, I'm telling you, comedy of errors. Now the dog is licking this little baby boy's booty and he's like, and I'm like, no, why stop. And it was, I was like, what is happening? What is happening? But I cannot wait to hear about who else had on your face.
I've had poop slathered on my face.
Slathered? No, that's a specific word.
It is very specific. It was artistically done. I won't
Oh.
say. It was. So I have a baby boy. He's 1.5 years old, and he has this new thing where he lets me know he's pooping or he needs a diaper change by like starting to push down his diaper, and he's like touching the back. I'm like, okay, no, and he sat down, and there must have been poop that. So gross. That squirted out the side of the diaper onto the floor. It wasn't until after I finished the whole daddy duty that I realized, oh, that's where he got it from, because that was artistically slathered on the carpet as well. Ooh. But I picked him up, and then he just touches my face, and he runs it across, and it gets in the corner of my mouth.
Oh.
I didn't know what it was. I just felt like some little nugget of something. Is it too much? No? Okay, cool. Yeah. And I immediately tried to hold back all the gags and all the vomits. But it just
disgusting.
Yeah.
So for anybody who wanted kids, this is like
that's perfect birth control right there.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awful. Alikona?
I'm a pet mom, but I can't say I've ever had poop in my face. Although, bringing it back to the toilet, guys, not that you care or ask, but when I was younger, I really wanted a jacuzzi for my Barbie. Never got one. So I used to play with Barbie in the toilet.
And then
flush the toilet and be like, whirlpool.
I can totally see you doing that.
Me too.
That is so funny.
I was a creative only child. So that brings us in today's topic. I love that it's such a great transition without even meaning to be a transition, because some people are into scat play, and we did want to talk about kink in the bedroom, and poop is just a great segue. So
is it though?
It's a thing.
It is.
It's a
okay.
thing.
Hello, R. Kelly.
Okay.
He peed.
Oh,
He peed.
sorry.
It was
That's
like
that. I've known that one, but
yeah.
What is it? Okay.
Actually, it reminded me of a story. So, okay, how we started talking.
You had to see her face, y'all. Like if you're not watching our videos by now, like you're missing out. You're just missing out. Okay. What was that?
This all started about Anthony and I having a conversation about relating trauma to kink and how it can, trauma can dictate what your preferences are in the bedroom. So I took a human sexual behavior class when I was in college, and I had been assigned a paper, and I had to research scat play, which
what is that?
So it's when you enjoy like peeing and pooping on each other in bed, like as part of your sexual practices. Okay. So I go to the UNLV library. This is how it's set up. It's this big, tall building, probably 6 stories tall, and it's hollow in the center, right? So downstairs is the computer area, and you go up, it's like rings, right? And it's each level of the library. I'm in the bottom, and I'm doing a research paper, like, college journals, official scientific, but, scat play. And I'm in the middle of this, scat play. It's like
very common.
Normal. And so I'm doing my research in this very quiet library, but because of the topic that I put into the internet,
pause. Why was this the topic?
Oh, sorry, my class is human sexual behavior.
Okay, but like that was like everybody's topic?
No,
or is that you were just mine. Like, oh, okay.
And I was independently in the library researching like why people enjoy that in the bedroom.
Back to
okay. So I put it into the search bar, but given the nature of the topic, the computer did its own smart thing, and I'm in this quiet library, like, and all of a sudden you hear,
stop.
And like porn pulled up and all this stuff, and I couldn't get the windows to close. And because the library is hollow, like you can hear it shooting all the way up into the. And I was just like, every time I close one box, another one would open, and someone else is like,
I just want to know. So now I'm just curious, because what does scat play have to do with whatever that noise you were doing? I'm like, that wasn't pooping or peeing. I know that for a fact.
They were clapping.
Wow, that is really funny. I would have paid money to see your face, like, because I'm sure you were going bananas. Wow.
which by the way, I guess apparently why people do enjoy that is because like when you're younger, if you like get neglected and you're left in like poo-poo diapers for a really long time, something about that is very comforting when you're an adult.
Really? Is that what it is?
Yes. And so that's why people can enjoy that when they're older. And they want to be like pooped on and stuff. It's very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Fascinating. I would be so I would love to talk to somebody who enjoys it. Like I'm so curious. Like how did that start? How did you find out? You know, like what was the first time that you were like,
this could be good.
I'm craving this, you know, like this. Yeah. Interesting.
Very.
If there's anybody out there who wants to be on our show,
Scat.
I am quite intrigued.
Really quick though, what would you do if your partner like wanted to introduce
That's
that?
a no. I know.
I know, but like your reaction.
That.
Just
Just
stare.
like. Well, first of all, I didn't until this moment. I didn't even know that's what it was called. So I would have been like, "Yeah."
What?
And I'm like trying to be all cute. You want to get exactly. You know, I think my heart would go into my stomach. Like, you know, like that moment of you're like, I'm just thinking of the person I'm in love with right now. And I think, you know, because sometimes you're like, is it too good to be true? Like, no, like I've paid my dues, you know, like I've this man is supposed to be in my life. And then all of a sudden, and you're like, no. Like, you imagine? You're like, damn it.
I thought I found the one.
Shit. Literally. What would you do? Talk to us.
I've had a partner that enjoyed me peeing on them.
Okay, but then you've heard, what is that called? What kind of showers is that
Golden
called?
showers?
Golden showers,
I'm not sure
yes.
if that's like the technical term, but I mean, they enjoyed it. They asked me to do it, and I was like,
When you did it?
I mean, we were in the shower. I don't know about the bed thing because then it starts sucking into the mattress. I know they do have special like sheets that are like pleather for what they would call, I guess, water sports.
Interesting. Water sports.
So, but wait, like, what was your reaction? Like, what did she say? Did she like whisper in your ear, like, pee on me?
Honestly, I didn't hear that. I was more concerned of what the hell did I eat?
Because
you know what I mean? Because then it's like it emanates just in case. Who knows? You know what I mean? So a certain particular smell is like.
That is really.
It was a lot of things went through my mind. I'm like, why do you like this?
Okay.
But
Like, what did she say?
I mean, she was like, "Do you want to pee on me?"
Oh,
And looked me straight in the eyes. I was like, "I'd like you to pee on me." I was like,
okay.
"You can pee on me," and she just kept insisting, and I'm like. I can't lie. The water's running. There's no like, you know, I was just like,
Oh my goodness.
I'll be back. I'm gonna get a glass of water. Pacing back and forth downstairs, like just dripping water. Yeah, no, it was interesting. It was very interesting.
wow.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
did it.
Okay.
What would you?
What would
How
I
would
do?
you react? Yeah.
Probably the same way you would. I'm like, I'm sorry, you said who? No. Like,
Yeah.
thank
With the face, like,
yeah. Actually, I'm allergic. I gotta go.
Ay.
So sad. I'd be like, is he for real? And then, yeah.
Yeah, I think that actually, especially like, you're so funny. Like,
Just pull it out.
no, like, oh shit, you're
Are you serious?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Wow.
But honestly, I feel like I don't know. Do you think that person, just by knowing you, they would know that you would either be like, what the fuck? Or they'd be like, maybe.
But if it's
There might be, you know?
But if it's like a new-ish relationship and you guys are like exploring each other and your bodies and blah blah blah, you're feeling each other out, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like,
So, but do you, okay, with that said, what feel I'm not speaking like English, but what is before that? Like, there has to be like because that's like C, like out of ABC, like maybe it's Z. I don't know. But like, how do you get to that? Like when you feel somebody out.
maybe you guys are in the bedroom and this person's already.
I think the golden shower would be first, maybe. Like, because if they could do that in the shower, then maybe you're like, okay, like, or something. Like, how do you get to that?
I will add though, when it comes to kink, there comes a point in the relationship where you have that conversation.
Yes,
You need to know your do's and your don'ts.
absolutely.
Because there's people that have hard no's and absolute yes, and it comes with a particular conversation because it's like you have safe words, you have this, you know what I mean?
Sure.
When to stop, when to not take,
Certain
take it too
things
far.
Okay, and so, and going back to the topic of trauma relating to kink, is that a conversation that's had, or does it matter at all, or is that part of the feeling safe with somebody?
To me, it's important because you're not just dating the person's morals and values, you're also dating their traumas and their kinks, because it's like, how sad is it that you're with someone and you care so much about them and you have all these feelings inside, these things that you enjoy, love, or can't stand, but you're repressing all of that just to please your person, So it's like you're losing so much of yourself just to have them be at the forefront,
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like that's definitely a conversation to have.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's get juicy.
Let's get juicy.
Okay, so like, what are you into?
Me?
Yeah. Hit the pause.
I do have to pause because I'm actually on this like self-discovery. I just recently, from my last podcast, I just started doing a lot of research on like myself, and I realized sexuality was a huge thing on the forefront. I've been, with my traumas in the past, I kind of grew up very interesting because, this is gonna be a lot of details shared,
That's
but
great.
my family, like I said last time, was very hypersexualized. There's been times where I've walked downstairs and there'd be a lot of sex toys laying around just casually. They thought I was sleeping.
How oldish were you?
I was maybe like 3, 4,
Oh.
5.
Okay.
Like that whole age range is when I started like because you start becoming aware and you start looking for your caregivers, and like you hear them having fun downstairs. You're like, oh, I want to go check it out, and then you just stumble upon a big raging veiny triumphant dildo on the couch,
Oh.
Wow.
and you see your dad as a cross-dresser.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting. I don't want to say it's weird because it's not weird. It was perfectly normal because they'd have a group of friends and it was them just having, I guess, fun. But the problem with that was they never explained to me anything. They just told me, "Mijo, go upstairs. Nothing's happening. We're just being adults." I'm like, "Oh, that's what it means to be an adult? Just all this weird stuff? Cool. I want to be an adult. Can't wait to have fun." So yeah, and with that, also being kind of, I raised myself, so I was, in the 90s, it was okay to leave your kids at home. Not really, but my mom did
Right.
it anyways.
Yep, same.
And so I was like 8 years old, and I'd have like the whole neighborhood with, I'd have about like 5 moms and 5 dads, and just everyone took care of everyone's kids in the streets. And so I think that had something to do with my polyamory, so that kind of like ignited that, because I've always had like, I do have 2 stepmoms and my mom, and then I had 2 dads, so stepdad and my real dad. So I just thought it was cool. I get to have so many dads and so many moms. And again, no one explained to me, no, they separated because things didn't work out. It's so important. I can't stress, I'm gonna just pause right there, to explain to your kids what's going on in a manner that it is appropriate for their age group. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you just let them try to figure things out, they're creative little beings, so they're just going to come up with all sorts of stuff. So with that being said, going through my traumas and all these other things, I started trying to discover different things because I never had verbiage to my sexuality. And oddly enough, I am demisexual.
What does that mean?
Demisexual, if it's under the umbrella of asexual.
Okay.
So I cannot be intimate. Like, it's hard for me. I it's been embarrassing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and share it and get juicy.
Please.
I've had beautiful women attack, try to be sexy with me, and I was not able to get aroused. I can only get aroused with someone if I'm emotionally connected with them.
Yeah. Okay.
And may it be mommy issues, who knows, you know what I mean? I need to feel loved. I want to hear that. Like, I will get aroused if someone were to be like, I love you, and start kissing me, and all of a sudden I'm ready to go. That's my foreplay, is, you know, whatever that is. I don't know, I'm still discovering. But yeah, so demisexual being that you can't be sexual with someone unless there's a deep like connection. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. And then started getting into kink because I went to like just discovering all these things. I made friends with a porn star, and they just invited me over. They started talking to me and asking me like what my preferences are, and I've never dug into that. I never understood like what any of those terms were, because then there's people, you know, hetero, cis, male, and all these like new verbiage that like everyone's talking about these days, which are actually important because they talk on sex and gender, how a person identifies with themselves, what they do, what they like, what they don't like. And I thought it was interesting because I always felt weird in my relationships. I always felt like my partners didn't understand what I liked, and they just felt like they couldn't please me. And somehow, in some way, going back to like, you know, the infidelity part from the last, I would just continue to look for what I wanted in other people. And I would tell them, I'm like, well, you're not giving me what I want. I'm going to go find it in someone else. And then not realizing that was polyamory, not me explaining it to them that I was, and them being hurt because they thought we were monogamous. But I didn't have that verbiage to tell them to have that conversation, like I said in the beginning, where it's important to kind of explain the whole field so they know how to play it. Because if you're
and to make that conscious decision of wanting to be involved or not, you know. And I mean, I think it's, which is an interesting thing. I've had many conversations with like my brother and stuff about this, just the evolution of relationships. And even, well, it started really when I went through my divorce years ago. My brother just being like, there's so many people on this earth, you know. I felt guilty because it's like you so many reasons, you quit, you give up, you know, you made these promises to this person, whatever. But he's like, you know, that's like so old school, like marriage and being with one person, and so he you know, was just trying to make me feel better. But with that said, and I've had a close friend who was in a throuple, and like I've just been like, in, you know, just exposed to all these new things that are that people are exploring. And really, and you know, there's people I'm sure watching or listening who may have like, oh, that's I know, like, you know, one person and and whatever. But it's like, but if everybody's aware, right? Like if it's not being cheated on or whatever, and everybody's on board and knows what's going on, then it's like, do you know, leave people alone.
So wait, hold on. Let me ask you this. I have two questions.
That was me. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. Properly in front of my mouth. Two questions. What are they? Okay. So polyamory in your definition, right? Because I think when I think of polyamory, I think of the one guy that has like a million girlfriends, and I'm like, what an asshole, you know what I'm saying? And I know that's not what it is, because obviously I would assume that both the male and the female can have each other, but then they have their separate relationships, I'm assuming, with other individuals. But it's like, you're my main bitch, and then there's some other girls that I just mess around with, or I'm also emotionally involved, or we as a couple are choosing to invite this person in, and it's more of a sexual thing versus I love you, but I love her and I love her. So just so you know, you're splitting my heart, not just my...
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that, because polyamory sometimes gets confused with like swingers, or open relationships where they are able to kind of be intimate sexual with many individuals. Polyamory is just being able to like love different individuals on a deep level, because honestly, that also in infidelity, that falls in emotional cheating, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So and people have to be okay with that. There's a big thing in polyamory where it's called compersion, and it's being happy for someone else receiving like all this attention and love from other people, and wanting to like encourage that. So it definitely it's because it's hard because it's like we get so territorial as humans that they're like, oh, I don't want anyone to look at you or be around you, let alone love you. You know what I mean? So it's like
in that manner.
Yeah, in that manner, because it's intimate. But yeah, compersion.
That's interesting.
I started learning that because it's like I myself can't be. I'm polyamory, meaning I can be intimate, but not romantically involved with many people.
Wait, what? Intimate, but not romantically involved. But you just said you can't be intimate with somebody if you don't have feelings.
Yes, I have to have feelings for them. But what I'm saying, once that's established,
Okay.
I can be intimate without having to be romantic. That's my polyamory. Like I can be with somebody, like we can go on dates, we can hang out, we can do a bunch of things like that, but we may not cross that boundary because I have my main partner that is just exclusive. I'm physically exclusive with this one person. Because once you start getting into that whole field of just that spectrum of relationships, you're gonna negotiate. It's always a negotiation. Like what is okay, what's not okay, today, what can we push today, what can we explore? It's always different every single day because we are always changing and evolving as humans.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that is something that happened from birth genetically, sort of like the old arguments about being homosexual being a choice, or if you're born with it? Do you think that for you personally, not for the whole world, stems from trauma and, like you were saying, like with your family and the different moms and dads, or do you think it's something you were born with genetically?
I don't know. Because it's hard to say, because as a baby, I mean, this is definitely going way back, I was denied a lot of affection, so I crave so much from like human experience, like the human touch, all the love languages. I'm all of them, and I want them all. I'm not just one. But yeah, it might be trauma for me, so being neglected as a child and rejected, like, you know what I mean? I crave it from everyone and everything. And learning moderation and respect for my body, my health, and my partner's bodies and their health. I kind of, you kind of have those boundaries. So yeah.
Interesting. You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think well, I'm curious for when you associated one with the other, like when, or is that more recent with the whole, like, okay, the reason why I desire X, Y, and Z, oh, that's related to that one time in high school when blah, 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 or, with my family. When did you connect that? Or did somebody help you connect that?
It was, yeah, because I would read on traumas, and I would have a lot of people help me connect on that, because I also discovered another form of kink, which was BDSM. And personally, I'm a switch, where I like to dominate, and I also can be dominated. But there's people that are just dominators, and people that are the receiving end of, like, being submissive. And I think that just comes with, finding the right person to help you navigate. Because, I mean, I think that's what we all are, is like a mosaic. Yeah, mosaic. Mosaic. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, a mosaic of all the partners that we've, encountered, and we take bits and pieces. And, I've kind of just discovered myself through everyone. So when I discovered all of that, that was your question?
Yeah. Like was there a specific situation? Was it through reading a book? Was it through being with somebody who shared their experiences and you were like, oh shit, yeah, fuck, that's me too?
I think it's a combination of all those things. Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I think what really started getting me to question my own sexuality was because there was something missing with my partners. And I mean, I've even explored trying to, like, see if I could, like, go out with a guy, but I just wasn't physically, like, sexually attracted to them. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely hetero, because I have an older brother that's gay and a younger brother that's gay, and just we always kind of grew up, and I was always around gay guys. I was like, maybe I'm gay. I just didn't know, and I just took a chance, and never did anything physical, but I just didn't find the arousal, you know what I mean? I didn't find the intimacy. I can look at a guy and be like, he is beautiful, but just never been drawn to do anything physical with them. But yeah, just definitely just finding something that was missing within that one partner, because there was so much more that I wasn't getting from it, which kind of led me into infidelity at a young age. So yeah.
So were you not feeling satisfied in the bedroom? Like when you were saying like, sure, this sex kind of feels good, but there's more, or you're like, that was okay.
Yeah, because I mean, well, one, I'm super passionate and romantic, and that sometimes scared people, because there's always people that are like, oh, I just want to smash and pass, and I'm like, that's not my thing.
You're Latino, you've got that like
yeah. But wait, what was your question again? I'm so sorry.
I have no idea.
You asked if wait, now I forgot. You fuckers.
This little thing, I think I erased my mind doing that.
Yeah, no, wait, you had just asked him if he wasn't satisfied.
Oh, satisfied. Well, yeah, because then so yeah, there was some like there'd be times where I'd want to be the dominator, you know what I mean, and there'd be the days where I'd want to be the person that was getting dominated, and that didn't translate well in the bedroom with someone that didn't know what they were doing or knew that that's what I wanted, you know, because it's like,
well, I mean, if you didn't know that's what you wanted, yeah, they would never. Yeah. So being able to even, I mean, that I think is everything, right? Being able to communicate, to know yourself enough, just, and outside of sex and anything, just for relationships to be successful, is knowing yourself enough on like what you need, right, from your partner, on all levels of connection, and to that first and foremost, and then being able to communicate that with your person, obviously the emotional, the physical, is everything.
But at what point do you say something? You mean, because when you're saying dominated
right away, what do you mean, like at what point?
Okay, so because what I was gonna say is there's one thing to be like dominating, meaning I like it when somebody else is more aggressive with me in the bedroom versus like, are we talking 50 Shades of Grey? Like you want someone to like whoop your ass. And if that's the case, like at what point do you bring that up in starting to date somebody? But do it define.
Yeah, I mean, just explore. Because I mean, for me, I went to a kink party once, and I went up to this the monitor in the room, and then they were like, so what do you want to do? I was like, I actually don't know. They're like, well, tell me something. I was like, well, I have a hard time controlling. He's like, perfect. Or letting go of control. He's like, I have something for you to try. And he put me on this giant cross X thing that he's like, put your hands up here. He gave my partner this paddle, and they started like going in on me on my back. And I have all these pictures of, because it was amazing. First of all, I've never felt such a warmth. I got my ass beat as a kid, and it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, it felt safe. It felt familiar. It was like, and also I'm an overthinker. I felt like the chaos that was in the world, I could like focus it on just my body. Like I had all this hurt in my heart, all this hurt in my mind, and all of a sudden all I could focus on was my external physical self. So it centralized all the chaos and pain into one place where I could just sit and feel. And it was euphoric. I felt safe, oddly enough. I didn't know. It was first time trying it. My partner was like, was that okay? I was like, you could have gone longer. It was interesting. It was crazy. Just exploring it. So, and then, but I also felt like I don't want to always be dominated. And then that's when the monitor of that room was like, oh, well, then you're a switch. You can be many different things.
That's so interesting.
I find that fascinating because also too, it is a connection, and you made that cognizant not decision, but observation. Do you know what I mean? Because again, going back to like when I had taken the human sexual behavior class, there are a lot of things that happen when you're a child. All the electrical, I don't know how to say it. So there's like a gap between things are connecting. That's
the myelin and all that.
Yeah. It took me a long time to understand all that, so I'm not even gonna go there. But all these connections are being made in the back of your brain, right? And every experience, like as you get older, concrete's in there. So it's just so fascinating. I find two things. One, it's interesting when you realize, oh, I like this or I behave this way because of what happened when I was younger. And then I find myself then getting mad at some of the things that happened to me when I was younger, if that makes sense. And I don't know if you've ever found that to be the case. Excuse me. But it's almost like, and we were talking about this in the break, as far as like when you're younger, and obviously when your parents were hitting you, like no one's like, this is good, I love this, you hate it, it hurts, it's scary, it's all these things, and then you grow up and find safety in it. Like it's the most fascinating thing, at the same time for me personally frustrating, but again, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's you know, that's your caregiver. As a child, that's everything to you. Your caregivers are doing these things that you find normal, that is just everyday life, however it works out, however it pans out in your life. And I feel like, oddly enough, you try to get back to that. You try to get back to the root of things, and you find, you know, your partners as you would want to look for your caregivers, your mom, your dad, whatever they did to you. It goes deeper. Like I said, I'm just skimming the surface on myself. And
you skim that surface.
But yeah, so I can't really, you know, explain too much as far as the psychological connection on all that, you know, but other than that, yeah, I think it's that for me.
Yeah.
So
that's fascinating. I mean, thank you for even like sharing all that. And did you guys notice how comfortably he talked about, I don't know. Because again, I think for some people, because sex is such a touchy subject, especially about yourself and your own preferences, and people tend to get like really shy and stuff like that. So
it's nothing to be shameful about. It's you know what I mean, when you put shame on a body or on a preference or anything, it's just it's not authentic, and you feel imprisoned. You know, that's what made me want to discover all of this, you know. So because I mean, I was in a throuple that didn't work out. I can't be in all of that. It's weird. You start everyone is wired differently. Polyamory, but I'm not a swinger. But I don't want to be in a throuple, and I'm okay with being monogamous. But as long as they're okay with me having intimate relationships with different people, it doesn't have to be sexual. It's weird. We're all wired differently, and it's going to be a different.
So wait, then would that technically then be like you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody, and physically, right? And you're saying you can have these intimate relationships with other people, meaning like go out on dates and da-da-da. But couldn't that also be considered I have a boyfriend, but I have this person who's like my soul friend. This person is my soul friend. I love them so much. Is that sort of touching the surface of the same thing, or not really, because this soul friend, you're kind of in love with them too?
Yeah, I guess so. That's polyamory to me.
But no, that's the question, are you in love with that person, or you have deep love for them, like a deep connected friend, but there's no physical, like nothing physical?
Okay, repeat that one more time.
Okay, so you have your girlfriend, right?
Okay, yeah.
You're monogamous with your girlfriend, and then you have, let's say, two other female friends that you have a deep emotional connection with, like I said, like a soul friend, like you just get them on so many different levels, but there's nothing else romantically happening except for that deep connection, right? So isn't that just considered somebody who's, again, like a soul friend, because you're not romantic with them?
I guess it just depends. It depends on the capacity in which you do love. I mean, to me, that's what I identify with.
Okay.
That like, I love this person, that, I mean, if life were to ever take a turn, I could be with this person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I guess I could.
So this is, okay. You're with girlfriend. You're hanging out with soul friend. Yeah. Are you like going to the movies and holding their hands and shit? Or are you like just doing friendship things?
I mean, I guess it just depends on what you negotiate with your person and that person. It's all situational. What is that person and personal like
relationship? Yeah,
exactly. Like, what is that person comfortable with, and what is this person not comfortable with, and are they both aware?
Yeah, I was gonna say that could change like within each person and each couple or each situation.
Okay.
And what I wanted to touch on is, I think what's fascinating and what I love about this conversation is, outside of, you know, if anybody can relate to being into kink or polyamory or whatever, no, regardless, what's beautiful is just the idea of just knowing yourself and just discovery. I feel like what I love about children and is unfortunately it's getting younger, but like before they start before they're aware of like judging themselves and stuff like that, like all that discovery and the things they're not afraid to say and explore and do and wear and all those things, it's like as adults we lose. And I mean, now I feel like seeing my friends who have kids, I feel like it's younger, like kids are so hyper aware now at much of a younger age of being like judged or whatever, unfortunately. But to be able to be at a place in your life, I don't know how old you are, but it doesn't matter, and to feel safe enough and excited enough to open that back up for yourself in whatever facet. Obviously, I'm not saying like everybody go chase kink, like it's not that, you know what I mean? Like you're a paid therapist, go kink.
Yeah.
And no, it's not about that, but just in whatever that means to you. I think that's scary for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't brave enough to do that, let alone brave enough to talk about it, you know,
Right.
if it's something that could possibly be taboo or people could judge or whatever. So I applaud you on that, because I think that is scary, and it's awesome. Like it's like if that's how you found or are starting to discover yourself, or you know, connect things from your past to who you are now, I think if more people could do that, and then find the things that they love, regardless of what that means, or you know, makes them happy or fulfilled, I think that's super powerful. So
Yeah.
thank you for, you know, sharing that and like opening, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and obviously you didn't, you know, of like what all this stuff means and how it's born. I think that's where I was been very curious about, you know.
Well, again, the reason I kept digging just now is because there is this idea, or at least I had the ignorant idea of, again, like the one guy with like 10 girlfriends, and you just think is like,
And that
this-
could be one of
it
the
could be,
situations.
but I thought that there are different versions. So again, we're explaining. That's why I was like, okay, so wait, what?
Yeah, that's for me.
And also, by the way, even as you say that, even the way you said it is still with a negative connotation. But that one guy with the 10 girls, all those girls
Are okay with it.
exactly. So it society and you know puts this like but it's like, but all these females are well
But
aware.
Are
Well,
they okay with that because culturally they were conditioned to be okay with that, or are they legitimately?
how would they
okay?
culturally be conditioned? They would culturally condition the opposite, like to kind of have the
Because
idea.
there's
like,
certain cultures where that's just how it
Oh,
is.
I
Like
see
you
what you
have
mean,
no
like, not in the
say.
US. I got you,
like
I
this
got you.
guy automatically in this culture gets
Yes,
to
yes,
have
yes, I
10
understand now.
wives.
That's right.
And you just have to be okay with
Sure,
that.
I
And
think
that's-
both.
Yeah, the patriarchy of that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all that,
yeah.
I think that's
And I do think also too, and this is my own personal opinion, it doesn't mean it's law, but and I'm a child of the 80s, you guys.
she look good, don't she?
Painful. We were having a conversation the other day too, and I said something like, I forget that you understand 80s references because I always see Anthony as just younger than me. And so I'm like, oh, we watch the same cartoons. Crazy. Okay. Anyways, point being is that we were not, as little girls, encouraged to explore certain things. Like now our culture and our society is very sexually open. We discuss, it's in music, it's in television. It wasn't like that growing up. So as a young woman, again, it was still okay for dudes to be players and whatever. Like that's, you a pimp and la 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 la, you get all those hoes. And it's weird because you see it on TV, like it's so in your face when you look at 90s TV music videos, like all the things, how women are just so objectified, and we're like, yeah. Okay. And anyways, all that to say, I never had felt as a younger person, and maybe it's my home, like go out and explore your sexuality, because if you do too much, then you're a hoe.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be labeled one of those people. So it's like, you're a good girl and just be a good girl. So it almost feels like for my era, if you will, someone like yourself being a man, it's easier for you to be like, yeah, I'm gonna explore all this stuff and no one's gonna judge you. But if I go out in the streets and I'm exploring a bunch of shit, it's like, oh, she's messy, or she's all over the place, or you know.
I'm gonna
But
chime in on that because that's not true for me either. Because
Okay.
as a man, I'm supposed to be this hardcore, you know, the toxic masculinity. Like last time, you know, we're expected to be a certain way, and for me to be feminine, you know what I mean, to embrace that side, to explore, to be free like that. That's I've been judged plenty of times because again, I am feminine.
But you're a dancer, so you're
It
around.
doesn't matter though. I've been around other dancers that aren't feminine, and then they bring this macho, especially some people that I used to work with. They'd be like, "Oh, you like dudes?" I'm like, "No, no, not at all." But they see me comfortable with myself, and it's just like I said, it's situational. No one has it easier than the other. It's just we all have our baggage, our demons, and our issues, and our what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The troubles that hit us, you know what I mean, in doing what we want to do, following our hearts, our minds, our dreams, whatever. We'll always have haters, you know, because they're afraid to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's different for either gender.
You don't think that women get judged more?
I mean, in certain...
For their promiscuous, like, for being promiscuous, like, even just that word alone.
I don't know. I'm a feminist I've learned how to be a feminist as well, because I guess I used to think that way too, but I think that's an empowerment as well, you know, but I guess you're right. But that's culturally taught,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's
100%.
You know, that's the man trying to control the patriarchy of the man trying to condition the woman. Like I remember, I don't know when it was, if it was this podcast or the last podcast, when you talk about you were told to not pluck your eyebrows.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the patriarchy trying to tell the woman what to do with their bodies and whatnot. So, I mean, again, I guess we just got to all uprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just there's so many layers. So many layers
I was trying to encompass all of that. I was like, how do I do that?
Yeah, no, there's so many layers, and it's so different for each person, and because we all have such different experiences, so it's just like, and that's the whole thing about labeling. And anyway, it's just like, oh, like, and our society's just always wanting to label everything, you know, and it's like, but what does that mean? Like, what do I call you now? Like, you know, if this isn't this, then what does that mean? It's like, oh,
did you know there's something called a gender cowboy?
I know
That's like a legitimate, like, male, female, they. Gender cowboy.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
it's an actual. I don't know what that means, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
So Valery, I'm gonna put her on the spot because she doesn't have it. But I was gonna be like, so what's our quote about kink today?
Well, actually, it wasn't about kink because, like, but the quote was, "Your trauma is not your." Wait, hold on. I'm trying to read it from the table. Your trauma is not.
It's okay if you want to reach for it.
Yeah, let me reach for it. Oh yeah. I can read my handwriting now. Your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that kind of is like
which is a lifelong process.
100%. Yeah, that goes. There's just so many layers. Like when you're just like, I got this because of this, and and then like, just speak as an adult and just realizing certain things about like,
There'll be so many things where I'm like, oh, I am healed from that, and something happens, and I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
like, shit.
Yeah. So good.
But I do want to add something to this, and then I'm done with that. That's why you don't fall in love with the destination. You fall in love with the process.
Yeah, you tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Don't fall in love with the destination. Fall in love with the process, because once you hit the destination, it could change. You could evolve into something different, and then you'll never be satisfied. Just be in love with the fact that you want to learn, that you want to explore, that you're capable of adjusting, you know, because once you get to that destination, are you going to stay there?
But I love the destination.
That's fine. But are you always going to stay there once you reach that?
But how do you know you love the destination if you've never been there?
Because I just know.
My
My heart tells me.
Okay. Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. In today's podcast, I love that. No, I love that quote. I love that idea because you can apply it to so many different things. Which I think is the purpose. Thank you for being so open, for enlightening our viewers, our listeners, us so much. I feel like I learned so much today. Yeah, we were talking about poop on your face, like poop in the bedrooms, all the things. Yeah, super appreciate you. And anything you want to add, Alikona?
I mean, I'm just gonna give myself a high five, shoulder slap for having a really good guest today. I just want to say, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We will give you the flowers, both of you flowers, flores, both.
No, but anyways, I had a lot of fun, so thank you. Conversation is always good. So,
and if you want to add anything, if you'd like us to dive deeper into any of these topics that we've talked about, like, please let us know. That's why we're open to it. That's why we're doing this podcast, because we want to hear from you guys. We want to talk about the things that maybe aren't comfortable that most people don't talk about.
Absolutely. Way to wrap it up, Val.
Thanks, girl.
Okay, I don't have anything really smart to add to that, so I'm just gonna say goodbye.
Adios. Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Mwah. Until next time. See ya.